Walk across up to you. Don't get me in the video. Oh God, help me.
Sorry.
I don't want to talk in this video, right?
So. Oh boy. So we're erecting signs as was advised by the Guyana Police Force to erect signs on the property. Showing that it's private property. So this entire land has been cleared, all by taxpayers' money. All by taxpayers' money. These contractors have been hired, these heavy machinery were contracted to do this job, all on taxpayers' dime. So this is what the dictatorship PPP government is doing with taxpayers' money. So these are the signs. They say private property, no trespassing. Owner Nazar Mohammad, who is the father of the opposition leader in waiting, Azruddin Mohammed. So this is the land. It did not look like this yesterday. It was all bush. And now all of it, well, not all of it, about a quarter of it has been cleared by the dictatorship PPP government on instruction by a sitting minister named Kwame McCoy, as was told by the contractors. The contractors have told us that they were hired by Kwame McCoy. And he has sent dozens of vulnerable Guyanese here to illegally occupy the private property of the opposition leader, Azruddin Mohammed. When they have so much land, so much readily available, accessible land to give to these vulnerable Guyanese. Turnkey homes, readily available. But instead, they have descended to absolute calumny. So this orange excavator you see, where is it? There. Was paid for as well by taxpayers' money, by the PPP government. Drone? Probably, what's his name? Amir? Probably his drone. Probably her drone. So if you're watching, if you're now tuning in, I'm here at Little Diamond, just off the Heroes Highway, on private property belonging to the opposition leader Azrin Mohammad, and his father, who have all the documents of ownership and legal purchase for the land, fully paid for over 10 years ago, paid for since 2015, purchased since 2015 under the PPP government when the current installed president Irfan Ali was the then Minister of Housing. This property has been owned by the opposition leader Azrin Mohammad. And what's happening here today is a continuation of the political persecution of the opposition leader Azrin Mohammad and his family, his property rights, his human rights to own land. Many of you have seen the updates yesterday from GRA attempting to invalidate the agreements of sales of some of his vehicles, which were lawfully sold and where no laws were broken. So all of this is clear and direct political persecution and oppression. Thank you. And oppression of the opposition leader Azrin Mohammad and his family, and his right to his own property in the country where he was born. It seems that Azrin Mohammad no longer has any rights in his country, not even to own land which he paid for. So there's the sign, private property, no trespassing, owner Nazar Mohammed, who is the father of Azrin Mohammad, the presumptive opposition leader. There's a drone flying on top of me, most likely by one of the contractors, PPP aligned minion, Amir Ahmed. He loves to do that. He loves to fly his drones over people's private property, over children, Azrin Mohammed's children, swimming in their own private swimming pool on their own land. He loves to do that. It's an attempt to intimidate me. So he's just hovering above. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. Bye. Bye. Anyway, I mean, if you don't cry, you have to laugh, right? This is the petty politics and gutter politics in Guyana at a time where there is so much tension in the country due to the escalating situation that just unfolded this morning in our neighboring country, Venezuela, where Guyanese are very tense, and where there are so many regional concerns of national security. And our national leaders are engaging in this sort of petty politics, gutter politics, political persecution and oppression of the opposition leader, instead of addressing to the Guyanese their plans for regional stability and to assure Guyanese that they are safe, that Guyana is secure, and that we are fully engaged with our regional partners, and give us updates on the GDF and other such important national matters. So there are a lot more people here than when I started, that were sent here, that were instructed to come here by Kwame McCoy, who is supposedly a sitting PPP minister. To come here onto the opposition leader's property to squat. So I want Guyanese living here in Guyana and Guyanese living in the diaspora, Guyanese, fair-minded Guyanese, regardless of which political party you support or if you are apolitical, to understand the dictatorship, the authoritarian rule of the PPP government, where they are enabling and facilitating with taxpayers' money. As you can see, all this land was cleared by taxpayers' money, using taxpayers' money. These heavy machinery were hired by contractors paid for with taxpayers' money. The contractors themselves told us that Kwame McCoy hired him to clear this land, this privately owned land by the opposition leader Azrin Mohammad. So someone's asking, if you're the rightful owner of the property, why is the police not being called to stop this illegal activity? Sir, the police has been called, and do you know what happened when the police was called? After they took the police report, the police officer was transferred. Okay? So Nazar Mohammed, the co-owner of the property, who is the father of Azrin Mohammed, reported to two police stations this morning in Diamond to file a formal police report. And the police officer who took that report was transferred. So, yes. So, of course, the police is involved. The police is watching this live as we speak. But the PPP government continues to weaponize the Guyana police force, the special branch police, organized institutions like the GRA, the Guyana Revenue Authority, and quite possibly manipulate the judiciary as well. So we all saw the video, the widely circulated video of the president yesterday when questioned by a reporter, why is he appointing teacher service commission members without the constitutional consultation of the opposition leader? The president responded to the reporter that, and I quote, "We don't know if the opposition leader is going to be a he or a she." So these are the markers, the creeping markers of dictatorship that is happening here in Guyana, where the president is commenting publicly on matters that are actively before the courts, such as the highly politicized and politically motivated extradition case of the opposition leader in waiting, Azrin Mohammed. You know, making grand assumptions such as, we don't know if the opposition leader will be a he or a she. The presumptive opposition leader is Azrin Mohammed. And the president making assumptions that the opposition leader may not be around is highly inappropriate and shows that the president does not understand the clear separation of powers of government that is the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. And that as president, he should not be commenting on these matters that are actively before the courts, and that he should respect the work of the judiciary and the independence of the courts. So okay, block. I allow I allow voices of dissent. Just, you know, keep it respectful. Again, for anyone tuning in, I'm here at Little Diamond, just off the Heroes Highway. Let me switch the camera. This on land that belongs to the opposition leader in waiting, Azrin Mohammad, which is being trespassed on by contractors hired by the PPP government through PPP sitting minister Kwame McCoy, as one of the contractors told us, explained that is who hired him and told him to come here to the opposition leader's private property to clear it and to make it readily available for squatters. So not only is the PPP government using taxpayer money to trespass on private property and to illegally clear land of private property, but they're also enabling and facilitating the unlawful and illegal occupation and squatting of private property. And I want the business community to understand that this also could very well be their property, because this is what dictatorship is, right? So someone is asking, what's the issue really? They claimed Mohammed got the vast amount of land illegally through APNU caretaker government. This land was not acquired or gotten. This land was purchased, sir, and it was purchased for a pretty penny. It was not inexpensive like the lands acquired by sitting minister Susan Rodriguez and Zulfikar Mustafa. Okay, these lands were purchased, and they were quite expensive, and they were purchased they were purchased in 2015 under the PPP government, when the Honorable Irfan Ali was then Minister of Housing. So I hope that answers your question. America's watching them too. Yes, all eyes on Guyana. Everyone's watching. Everyone is seeing the dictatorship government that is the PPP government. Which area is this? This is Little Diamond, just off the Heroes Highway. It's prime land that the government is trying to, I'm not sure what's the word, annex from the opposition leader, Azrin Mohammad. So again, we're just calling on all fair-minded Guyanese, regardless of which political party you support or if you're apolitical, to speak up against this oppression and political persecution, clear political persecution of the opposition leader Azrin Mohammad and his family, and his human rights, his right to property. Here you see the sign erected. Oh, the excavator started doing its work again. So here you see the sign. He took a lunch break, but he's back to working. And at a time when there is quite possibly regional instability, this is what our national leaders are choosing to do. to instruct vulnerable Guyanese to come onto the private property of the opposition leader in waiting, Azrin Mohammad, to squat. So the signs are going to be placed throughout the land, as was advised by the Guyana Police Force when the co-owner of the property, Nazar Mohammed, oh, he's coming really close, went to Diamond Police Station to file a formal police report. So if Her Excellency Nicole Thariet and Her Excellency Jane Miller, His Excellency Sebastian Seguin, and all ambassadors in the diplomatic corps are watching this live and are seeing this blatant political persecution and oppression that is happening here in Guyana of the opposition leader in waiting, Azrin Mohammad, where his land is being illegally cleared, where contractors and crews of workmen of up to 50 workmen are hired by a PPP sitting minister, whom the workmen have indicated is Kwame McCoy, and paid for by taxpayer dollars. So if Her Excellencies Jane Miller and Nicole Thariet and His Excellency Sebastian Seguin and all the other members of the diplomatic corps are watching this live and are seeing this political persecution of the opposition leader by the dictatorship PPP government, I'm asking you to speak up and to intervene and to condemn these acts and to stand as guardian of our democracy. I'm calling on the Secretary General of CARICOM, Dr. Carla Barnett, to also be the beacon of democracy here in Guyana, in a country where you're housed by taxpayers, and to speak up against this blatant oppression and political persecution of the opposition leader, where he does not even have rights even to his own property. So again, if you're tuning in, I'm here on land because I see more people tuning in. I'm here on private property by the opposition leader, owned by the opposition leader Azrin Mohammad, where contractors were instructed to clear the land, to level it higher, to bring heavy machinery to clear the land, to make it suitable for squatting structures to be erected, by Kwame McCoy, who I'm told is a sitting minister. I'm not sure because I don't see him doing anything except standing in front of a teleprompter struggling to read a script of propaganda. So this is, the guys are, this umbrella. The guys are erecting more signs that say no trespassing. As was advised by the Guyana Police Force, to erect these signs all over the property and to make it public. So I'm also calling on the government, the PPP government, to come down here actually. It's a Little Diamond. Come down here right now and to speak to these residents, citizens, these vulnerable Guyanese citizens who are without homes, and to provide them those homes immediately, to approve their housing applications, whom they have told us have been in the system for years, a few of them from over a decade, and to approve those housing applications and to give these citizens homes immediately. So I'm calling on the Guyana government to do so. Minister Kroll, you could bring along Kwame McCoy if he really is a minister, I don't know. And do your work. So the guys are installing those signs that read private property, no trespassing. I'll show you one of them here if you're now tuning in. Owner Nazar Mohammad, who is the father of Azruddin Mohammed, opposition leader in waiting, who is going through unprecedented oppression and political persecution like no other. Something that APNU or the PNC or any other political party or politician has ever experienced is what Azruddin Mohammed is experiencing day in and day out by the dictatorship and authoritarian PPP government. Thank you so much for all the support. I see a lot of supportive messages. Thank you for standing with us and standing on the side of democracy. So I'm told that this did a little bit of research on this sitting minister Kwame McCoy, and oh my goodness, those allegations against him are frightening. I would not want my child around him. Absolutely not. Nowhere close. So beware of that one. So Keisha Audert, someone is saying that that's a lot of land that people was deprived of. Well, Guyana has a lot of land, and the PPP knows this. Yet they refuse to provide such land for the people of Guyana. The neglected. Hang on one second. All right, guys, so I am going to head out now. Thank you for following along. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you for standing with us against the oppression and political persecution of the opposition leader in waiting, Azruddin Mohammed, where he is being targeted, politically persecuted, and oppressed by the dictatorship PPP government, where he apparently does not even have rights to his own land and private property, of which he purchased lawfully for a ridiculous amount of money, and has owned and has all said ownership documents for over 10 years. So under the PPP government, purchased under the PPP government. That's important to note because they are trying to spread these lies that this purchase was made under the Avenue government, which is not true. So thank you for tuning in, and keep why only PPPC in your mouth, because it's the truth. Oh my God. Thank you. Have a good day.